Hello, my name is John Smith, and welcome to the Psalming Effect. Well, who am I? I'm John Smith, minister with the Church of Christ in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, a member of the community here, and I've been serving as a minister on the Canadian prairies since, well, full time, since 1987. I had to think about that. And the psalming effect, what is that? I share every week on Monday, I share a meditation from the book of Psalms in the Bible. And I encourage people to dwell on that psalm, not just the thought that I share at the moment, but to return to that psalm throughout the week and be blessed by the meditations that are there. So that's what I'm doing today. But first, I want to ask some questions that emerged when I read the psalm. Are any of you famous enough to have a large territory, like a city or a street, named after you? You know, I have a friend named Alan Close, and when I lived in Red Deer, Alberta, there was a street in that city that was called Alan Close. And Alan gained great delight out of telling people that that street was named after him. I mean, that's the same name, right? Alan Close, Alan Close. But I had to point out to him one day that, the street is a close. And so it's named after somebody named Alan, probably their last name, and I don't think it's named after you. But anyways, Alan Close still likes to think that that street's named after him. That's his story, and he's sticking to it. Okay, we'll give him that. But I want to tell you about some other places in Canada that are actually named after some famous people. Okay, and you'll know these places, but you may not know why they were named what they are. The province of Alberta, which I just talked about, was named after Queen Victoria's fourth daughter, Princess Louise Caroline Alberta. The province of New Brunswick. Now, I hadn't really thought about it, but the province of New Brunswick is named after somebody. I had to look this up. Maybe I was taught this in history class in high school, but it didn't stick. So I had to look this up. And originally, the province of New Brunswick was actually a territory incorporated with Nova Scotia. But it was later separated and established as a province in 1784. And the name New Brunswick was given to the area in honor of King George III, who also held the title of Duke of Brunswick. Okay, so that's where the name comes from. It's named after King George III, and I'm sure that area, Brunswick in Germany, that might have come from somebody's name way back when too. I don't know. I didn't look that part up. But anyways, these must be important people, right? Louise Caroline Alberta, the princess, and King George III. How about Prince Edward Island? That's a province in Canada. Do you know who that's named after? Yeah, we all know who that's named after. It's named after Prince Edward, in honor of the Duke of Kent and Strathearn. In 1799, the English gave that island his name. How about the city of Regina, the capital city of Saskatchewan? You know that the word Regina, it's the Latin word for queen. And the reason why the city was named that, and it's often nicknamed the Queen City, is because it was named after Queen Victoria, who was the British monarch at the time. Well, there's another city in Canada that actually bears the name of Queen Victoria, and it's Victoria, British Columbia. The Hudson Bay Company built a fort on the southern tip of Vancouver Island and officially named it Fort Victoria after this British queen in 1843. And then the name Victoria was adopted when a town site was laid out in 1852. And Victoria was incorporated as a city in 1862. So these must have been important and valuable people, right? Victoria, Prince Edward, King George, Alan Close. Well, I'm going to read to you today from Psalm 49. And just in case you're thinking that, maybe some of these people are more valuable than other people because of how famous they are, how wealthy they are, or how wise they are, in the case of Alan Close. The psalmist reminds us that death is the great equalizer. Let me just read these verses from Psalm 49, verses 10 through 13. For he sees that even the wise die, the fool and the stupid alike must perish and leave their wealth to others. Their graves are their homes forever, their dwelling places to all generations. Though they called lands by their names, man in his pomp will not remain. He is like the beasts that perish. This is the path of those who have foolish confidence, yet after them people approve of their boasts. No matter how wealthy or poverty-stricken we are or were in life, our value is the same. The same is true if we are wise or foolish. And if you're like me, you spend some of your days as the wise man and some of your days as the fool. But regardless of where you fall on the spectrum, every life is valued the same by God, by your Creator, and every death is an equal loss. The loss of one person is not more costly than the loss of someone else. Our lives all have equal value. How do we know that? We know that because of what God did for us. Jesus gave himself for the sins of the whole world and offers redemption to all those who believe. John 3:16 is probably familiar to you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. So we need not worry about having lands or cities or streets named after us. The only thing that will be important once we are in the grave is this. And I'm going to read to you some verses from Revelation 21. This is also in the Bible, the last book of the Bible, starting at verse 1. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away. And if you come all the way down to verse 27, as it ends this section, it says, But nothing unclean will ever enter it, nor anyone who does what is detestable or false, but only those who are written in the Lamb's book of life. That gives me perspective on what value my life has. I'm made for eternity. And the only place where it matters for my name to appear is in the Lamb's book of life. I believe in Jesus and in his redeeming power to get me there. And I believe that if you will put your faith in Jesus, he too can get you there. Your name also can appear in the Lamb's book of life and you will be a citizen of the New Jerusalem, the eternal dwelling place of God with his people. That's how valuable you are. In 21, he's still the one.